Hey guys, so again, today's video is the best and worst drugstore foundations. I have tried so many drugstore foundations. I personally like to buy my foundations from the drugstore because I do change up my foundation routine every couple months. I like to try out new foundations. I'd rather spend a drugstore price rather than price of a higher end foundation. So I thought this video would be helpful because I have tried out so many foundations. Some of them I really liked. I liked the formula. It looked great on my skin. And then some foundations I just hated. It didn't have a good amount of coverage. It made me break out. So I thought that by sharing some of my favorites and then my least favorite foundations from the drugstore, and I'll just share with you guys my opinions and all that stuff. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this. I hope that this video won't be super long because when it comes to reviewing products, I just ramble. But then I was thinking that I can kind of make a series out of these videos, the best and worst, and then best and worst drugstore eyeshadow, best and worst high-end eyeshadow. So if you have any product you want me to do best and worst types of videos, please let me know. Also, if that's a good idea, let me know. So I have 6 foundations that I'm going to be reviewing in this video. They're all from the drugstore, brands Maybelline, CoverGirl, and Neutrogena. And I wanted to pick kind of a small amount of foundations because even though I've used a lot of different drugstore foundations out there, I just wanted to keep it at a small number, the foundations that I've used for a long time that I have experience with, or foundations that I could talk more about. I have 4 foundations that I like, that I enjoy using, and then I have 2 foundations that have not been my favorites. So before I get started, I just want to say that I have not tried out all drugstore foundations. There's still a lot of foundations that I want to try out, and we are all different. We all have different skin types, so there might be foundations that you like but I don't like as much, or vice versa. So just keep that in mind. So let me get started with the 4 foundations that I think are great from the drugstore. So one last thing before I get started, I just want to tell you guys a little bit about my skin. I have kind of combination skin. It's not overly dry, but it's not really oily. I guess my skin is more on the drier side than the oily side. I don't have bad skin. I don't have acne. Blemishes usually just pop up due to stress, or sometimes reacting to different products that I'm using. Usually in a foundation I look for light to medium coverage, something that will cover any blemishes and correct any redness. And then I also look for a foundation that is lightweight and just looks very natural. The first best drugstore foundation isn't really considered a foundation, and I have a whole video about this. I have a whole video about me reviewing this product. I have another video that's a tutorial and foundation routine using this product, and it is the Garnet BB Cream. BB creams have really been talked about a lot over the past couple of months in the beauty world, and they are just awesome. It's a multi-purpose product. It is really supposed to be kind of a cream, almost a primer, rather than a foundation or tinted moisturizer. You can really get away with wearing it as a tinted moisturizer or foundation because it does provide a nice amount of coverage. But usually what I like to do with the BB cream is I like to apply a small amount on my face and apply that before I use any other foundation, kind of like a primer. And I just love this BB cream so much because it's not just a foundation or a tinted moisturizer, but it actually improves the complexion of your skin. It's also great for the summer because it has SPF in it, so it will protect your skin from the sun. And it has so many minerals just to help give your skin a healthy and natural look. It is really lightweight. It goes on very smooth. If you do have oily skin, this can kind of look oily if you don't use a foundation or a pressed powder over it. When I use the BB cream with another foundation and concealer and pressed powder, I think it doesn't look oily at all. It looks really smooth and natural. I use it every single day. So I highly recommend this. So then the next foundation I recently purchased because it is summertime and the weather is getting warmer. I'm outside more, so I always like to wear a tinted moisturizer in the summer because tinted moisturizers are perfect for the summer because they provide SPF, they're lightweight, but they do provide a nice coverage. So I was on the hunt for a tinted moisturizer at a drugstore, and I stumbled across the Almay Smart Shade Smart Balance Skin Balancing Makeup Tinted Moisturizer. And I never really heard about this, but I wanted to try it because I like the idea behind this product. It is one of those foundations that go on white, but as you start to apply it to your skin, it matches your skin tone. So I think that is perfect for the summer because my skin tone is always changing because I'm outside, so I'm getting a little bit tanner. I'm not as pale as I was, so it's really hard to find like the perfect shade of foundation during like the summer. So I like how this goes on white and then it adapts to your skin tone, and it does a really good job. Because sometimes you kind of question like putting like a white foundation on and then like does it really like adapt to your skin tone? But this does, and I like that. It also has SPF in it, which is good for summer. It controls oil and it has a light to medium coverage. So it will, you know, cover any blemishes, correct any redness. I'm actually wearing it on my skin right now. I use this every single day, and I actually do wear this tinted moisturizer if I'm like not even going outside or not even going to the pool. I think it does provide a good coverage. If you're looking for a little more coverage, I recommend, and I actually do this too, I first apply my Garnet BB Cream, like a tiny amount, and then I apply the Elm Smart Shade Skin Balancing Tinted Moisturizer, and I think they blend so nicely together. I really like this. If you're on the lookout for a tinted moisturizer, I definitely recommend this. The next drugstore foundation favorite of mine is the CoverGirl Natural Luxe Foundation. This came out like last year or maybe even like 2 years ago, but this is such a popular foundation. I have seen so many beauty gurus talk about this foundation, use this foundation, and I finally got this. But when I first used this, I have to admit, I really didn't like it. Something about it I just did not like. I felt like it made me look oily. I think it made my skin kind of look like uneven. It kind of like exaggerated like a lot of blemishes, but I wanted to give it another chance. So I came up with another way to wear this foundation. The way I like to wear it is I like to use my Garnet BB Cream. So you guys can tell that I like to use the BB Cream as kind of like a primer. I like to apply this BB Cream first, like a small amount, and then I like to mix it with a foundation. So the BB Cream mixed with the Natural Luxe Foundation creates like a really nice foundation and a really nice like look. And the best part is it looks natural. It doesn't look cakey, because sometimes like when you mix like two foundations, it can kind of be like really heavy. But I feel like because the Natural Luxe Foundation is super lightweight, and same with the BB Cream, it's said to be like a foundation, like it has like the same amount of coverage of a foundation, but it goes on like a tinted moisturizer and feels like a tinted moisturizer, and it does have SPF in it, which is great for the summertime. So I'm happy that I gave the Natural Luxe Foundation a second chance. This foundation is like the last favorite drugstore foundation, and it is the Neutrogena Skin Clearing Foundation. I use this a lot in the wintertime. I actually like kind of ran out of it. Like there's still like some product left, but it's almost gone. So I did use this a lot in the wintertime. So what this is it's a foundation. It also prevents and heals any blemishes. So that is such a great idea. Like the BB Cream, it does like two things. It acts as a foundation, and then it also has stuff in it to help clear your skin. I think this has great coverage. I think this has more coverage than like that CoverGirl and like Elm Tinted Moisturizer foundation. It is a little bit more heavier, so that's why I liked it for the winter time. And then for like the blemish treatment, I felt like it did a good job to prevent and heal blemishes. Like I said, I don't have acne, I don't have bad skin. With this foundation, I felt like it healed my blemishes, and it did prevent blemishes like to some degree. I mean, I don't think there's any product out there that like really truly prevents blemishes. Like pimples just kind of like pop up like randomly, and like there's nothing you can do about it. I did like this, and I do recommend this because it really is like a 2-in-1 foundation. Now moving on to the two foundations that I consider like the worst of this video, or like the foundations that like I really didn't like. And the first is the Maybelline Dream Matte Mousse Foundation. I purchased this in the winter, and I did like this foundation. I used this in the winter time. I thought it provided a nice coverage. I was really impressed with this foundation. It was a different kind of texture. It was like something that I never had. But once I started to use it every single day, I completely just turned on this foundation. I actually did hit pan on this foundation, which shows that I did use it a lot. But it is just a really different kind of texture, as you guys can see. It is a mousse texture, and I kind of like a liquid foundation better because I feel like this mousse texture can get really messy, like make a mess all over my vanity, clean that up, and then it also like made a mess on my clothes. Like I would spill it and it would like stain my clothes, which is never good. But I felt like this foundation was best applied when using some sort of brush or sponge, and I don't really like to use brushes or sponge. I like to use my hands because I feel like that's an easier way. When you did apply this foundation with your hands, it got really uneven, really messy, and This foundation is super heavy. This felt like you were like painting your face with plaster. You really had to blend out this mousse because if you didn't, it would be streaky, cakey, unnatural. It would just look like you were wearing a mask. And when it comes to foundation, you just want a foundation that looks natural because you don't want the appearance of wearing like too much foundation and too much makeup. So the last foundation I'm going to be talking about in this video is a recent purchase. I bought this like 2 weeks ago because I remember buying this like before my prom, and my prom was like 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks ago. And it is the Maybelline Fit Me Foundation. And the reason why I bought this is because I like the Fit Me line. I like the idea of how they have so many different shades to match different skin tones. It's really hard to find the foundation that fits your skin tone in the drugstore. So I wanted to get this foundation because I like the concealer, I like the powder by this Fit Me brand. So I got the shade 220 because that matched that concealer and pressed powder that I have and I use. So I was really happy that I got this. I was so excited to use this. The first day I used this, I opened it and I spilled it everywhere because I hate this kind of packaging. It's like no tube, there's no like pump, it's not like a squeeze bottle. So I spilled it everywhere. So I lost a good amount of product. It went all over my vanity. It was a pain to clean up. So that was not a good first impression. So when I first applied it, I noticed that it was so watery. It was really hard to blend. You like only needed like a small amount, and I did like it. I thought it provided a nice coverage, especially when I used the other Fit Me products. And then a couple days later, I started to break out really badly. And normally I don't break out. So I knew that this foundation was not good because I broke out. And of course, my prom was like the next day. Like, I was like, oh my goodness, this would happen to me. Like, I had pimples everywhere. I'm not saying that I got pimples because of this foundation. Maybe it was due to stress or some other product, but I have a good feeling that I broke out because of this foundation. And I just didn't really like how it looked. I felt like it didn't provide a good coverage. I like saw a lot of like under eye circles, a lot of my pores. So I know it's not right for me to say that I don't like this foundation, that I think it's not one of the best drugstore foundations out there after only using it a couple times, but I'm just so nervous and afraid to use this foundation again, considering that it really did make me break out. It didn't like look good on my skin. So I'm just not a big fan of this foundation. I do like the concealer and pressed powder by like the Fit Me line, but this foundation is just not good because I did not like the coverage, I did not like the formula, and I just did not like the packaging, considering that like I spilled it everywhere. So that's the reason why I did not really like this foundation. So that is it for this best and worst drugstore foundation video. I had such a great time filming this video. I hope you guys liked it and found this video helpful. I really do enjoy reviewing certain products. Even though I feel like I'm not the best at it, I feel like I just say the same things and I just ramble. But anyway, hope you did enjoy this video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next video. Bye!